Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Lilbumblebear's Let's Play. I'm Kristen, and we are here with another Dorling and Kindersley game. This is DK's My First Bible Stories. Now, you probably don't know this about me, but at one time I was actually a pre-K Sunday school teacher for my church, and I absolutely loved it so much. I am a Christian, for anyone who wonders. I don't hide that, and I'm very happy to be sharing the Bible with you in this video. I remember growing up with this game and just the beautiful way the stories are told. I hope you enjoy. Please give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below which Bible story is your favorite. And of course, subscribe for more nostalgic gaming. Check out the playlist in the description box to see all of the other DK games on this channel. I have a Twitter and Instagram you can follow, a streaming channel, and a Discord with the kindest community in the internet ever, because they're all wonderful people. So if you use Discord and you'd like to join and say hi, just use the invite link in the description box. Alright, enjoy My First Bible Stories.
God makes the... In the very beginning, there was nothing but emptiness, darkness, and deep, deep water. Then God said the word, and the world was filled with light. He had made the first day. But he saw that darkness was good too, so he kept it and called it. On the second day, God divided up the water. Some he made the sea. The rest he put up in the sky. He made heaven to keep. On the third day, God put the seas in their proper places, with dry land between them. He told the earth to start growing trees and grass and... On the fourth day, God made two big lights to hang in the sky, the sun by day and the moon by night. Then he made all the stars that keep... On the fifth day, God made all the creatures that live in the water, fish, whales, dolphins, and octopuses. Then he made all the birds that fly in the air, from the great eagle to the tiny... But the sixth day was the busiest of all. God made all the animals that live on the land, not just the big ones, like buffaloes and elephants and tigers, but everything, right down to the smallest beetle that creeps through. Finally, God decided to make some people, too, who would be like him. He made a man and a woman to take care of all the animals. God saw that the world he had made was good. On the seventh day, the first man and woman were Adam and Eve. God gave them a wonderful garden called Eden. He told them to eat fruit and plants and take care of every single living thing in the world. He told them that every person in the world would come from them and their...
What did God tell Adam and Eve to do?
Finally,
How many people did God...
but the sixth...
What kind of animals...
On the fifth day,
Which creatures fly in...
on the fourth day, God made two big lights to hang in the sky, On the third day,
When did God tell the earth?
on the second, in the very beginning, on the first job God gave Adam and Eve was to name all the animals. Imagine trying to choose the right name for the camel, the giraffe, or the ostrich if you didn't know.
What was Adam and Eve's first job?
God visited Adam and Eve in the garden and talked to them. He gave them only one rule. "See that tree over there in the middle of the garden?" he asked. "It is the tree of knowledge. You must never eat its fruit. If you do, you..."
How many rules did God give to Adam and
Now there was a snake in the garden. It slithered up to Eve and hissed, "Why don't you pick that ripe fruit from the tree in the middle of the garden?" Eve said, "God told us not to. If we do, we will die." "Nonsense," said the snake. "God just wants to keep the best fruit for himself."
who told Eve to eat the fruit from the...
The fruit looked tasty, so Eve picked one and took a big, juicy bite. It was so good, she shared some with Adam. Right away, they felt shy and ashamed and realized they had no clothes.
Why did Eve share the fruit with Adam?
As soon as God realized they had eaten the forbidden fruit, a sadness as big as the whole world came. God gave Adam and Eve clothes and sent them out of the garden to raise their children and live without ever seeing Eden again. To make sure they couldn't return, he set an angel with a fiery sword at the gate. And all because they had done the one thing he had asked them not.
Who guarded the gate of Eden?
Noah's. Hundreds of years after Adam and Eve, the world had filled up with wicked people. This made God sad. He saw that there was only one good family left on earth: Noah, his wife, and their 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and...
Why was God sad?
God said to Noah, "I am going to send a great flood to wash the earth clean. Everyone will be drowned except you and your family. You must build a big boat. You'll need space for a lot of food because there will be many animals."
What did God ask Noah to build?
"Animals?" asked Noah. "Yes," said God. "2 of each kind, a male and female, including birds and creepy crawlies, even..." God told Noah exactly how to build the boat, which was called an ark. Noah's whole family had to help, all his sons and their wives, because they would all be on the ark. They painted the wooden ark with sticky tar to keep the...
What kind of boat did Noah build? And
Noah's neighbors thought he was crazy. "A boat?" they laughed. "Haven't you noticed there's no sea around here?" But Noah kept on building. As soon as the ark was ready, Noah took out his list of animals. His family had been rounding them up for weeks. How the neighbors...
why did Noah's neighbors laugh at the ark?
Two by two, the animals entered the ark. The bears lumbered. The reindeer pranced. The giraffes swayed. And the snakes slithered.
How did the animals enter Noah's ark?
The elephants were terribly slow. The lions padded along. The parrots squawked. And the wolves howled. The swift cheetahs passed right by the crawling crocodiles and leaping kangaroos. Soon the ark was alive with animals. It was full of hay and oats, and food for the family, too. But the sky was getting very dark. "Hurry up!" cried Noah to the waddling penguins. As the tortoises crept up the gangplank, the first drops of rain began.
What happened when the last animals were entering the ark?
It was as if God had opened a window in heaven and poured water out. Rain cascaded from the sky, filling all the valleys. Thunder rumbled, and lightning flashes cracked the sky. The people who had laughed at Noah were now desperate to escape the rising water, but only the ark was lifted safely to the top of the swirling water, higher than the mountain.
Who tried to escape from the rising water? Noah and his...
For 40 days and 40 nights, rain drummed on the roof of the ark. Then one morning, everything was quiet. The rain had stopped, and the sun was shining.
For how long did it rain?
The ark drifted for months. At last, it bumped into some rocks. Slowly, the flood waters sank down. Noah saw that the ark had settled on the high mountain tops of...
For how long did the ark drift? Months.
The animals couldn't wait to get off. But Noah wanted to be sure it was safe. 3 times he sent a dove out. The first time, the dove flew straight back. The second time, it had an olive leaf in its beak. The third time, the dove didn't come back at all. It had found somewhere green and fresh to live. So Noah let down the gangplank, and the animals bounded up.
How many times did Noah?
As the birds flew away, Noah saw a beautiful arch of colors glowing in the sky. It was the first rainbow. God promised that he would never again destroy life on earth. The rainbow would remind him of his.
What did Noah see in the sky as the animals left the ark?
Jonah and the big. God watched over his earth and saw that there were still bad things happening on it. He saw that the people of Nineveh were very wicked and violent. He asked an Israelite teacher named Jonah to talk.
Who was watching over the earth? Jonah.
But Jonah didn't like that idea at all. He didn't want to go to Nineveh. He ran away from God and boarded a ship that was going to Tarshish in the other.
Where did God want Jonah to go?
God knew that Jonah was on the ship, and he sent a great storm. All the sailors were terrified. When Jonah realized what was happening, he told the sailors that the storm was his fault. "I tried to disobey God," he said. "You had better throw me over."
Why did Jonah think that the storm was his fault?
The sailors didn't want to do it, but Jonah made them throw him into the water. Immediately, the wind dropped and the sea became calm. Jonah fell through the waves, sure that he was going to drown. All of a sudden, a huge fish came up and opened its. Down and down and down, and around went Jonah, swirling and tumbling through the water into the darkness, until he ended up inside the fish's. Jonah fell on his knees and prayed to God, thanking him for saving him from the sea. After 3 days and nights, God thought Jonah had learned.
How long did Jonah stay inside the big fish? 100 years.
God made the fish swim to the shore, and there it threw Jonah up onto the land. "Well," asked God, "now will you go to Nineveh?" So Jonah walked all the way.
What did the big fish do when it reached the shore? It swallowed some more people. It threw Jonah up on.
Jonah warned all the people that God would destroy the city if they didn't stop doing bad things. Everyone, even the king, was sorry. They all promised to lead better lives in the future. So God did not have to destroy the people after all. He was glad he could.
What did Jonah tell the people of Nineveh? That God would destroy their city if they carried on being wicked. That they should not fall.
Abraham and his. After the flood, Noah's family grew and grew, peopling the earth. One of these people became very special to God. The man's name was Abraham. His wife,
Who became very special to God? Abraham.
one day God sent for Abraham and told him that if he went where God led him, he would become the father of a great new nation. Abraham was puzzled because he and Sarah had no children, but he did as God. Abraham gathered all his people together, and with Sarah and his nephew Lot, set out for Canaan. When they were nearly there, Lot and his people decided to turn to the east, and Abraham and Sarah went to.
Where did Abraham set out for? Canaan.
God spoke to Abraham again, telling him that all the land around him would belong to him and his family. He also said that Sarah would have a son. "Your family will be as many as there are stars in the sky," he said. Abraham was amazed. Surely Sarah was too old to have. Sarah was very surprised to have a baby at last. Abraham and Sarah named their son.
What did Abraham and Sarah call their son?
When Isaac was still a little boy, God decided to give Abraham a terrible test. He wanted to see how much Abraham loved him. God told him to take Isaac up a high mountain and kill him. Abraham was horrified, and he could not tell Sarah what God...
Who was given a test?
Abraham loaded a donkey and took Isaac with him, as if they were just going out for a picnic. Isaac carried wood, and they set off to climb.
What did Isaac carry?
When Abraham and Isaac had reached the top, Abraham built an altar and piled the wood on top. Isaac thought his father was going to kill him. "Father, where is the lamb?" asked Isaac. "God will provide a lamb," said Abraham, but he could hardly speak for tears. He set Isaac on the altar and took out his knife. The boy was
What is an altar?
Suddenly, an angel called out, "Stop! Now God knows how much you love him. You were ready to give him your only son." Looking up, Abraham saw a ram in the bushes, which he killed instead of Isaac. Abraham had passed the test. He hugged Isaac tightly, then took him.
Who stopped Abraham from killing his son?
Moses in the bull. Joseph came from Canaan to Egypt. Long after Joseph died, there were many Israelites living in Egypt. The new Pharaoh did not like so many Israelites being in his country. First, he made them work as slaves. Then he ordered that all Israelite boy babies should...
What does the word Pharaoh?
So Israelite women gave birth in secret. One family decided to save their newborn son in an unusual way. Even the baby's big sister, Miriam, was in.
What was the baby's big sister called?
The family kept the baby hidden till he was 3 months old. By then, he was sleeping less, and it was hard to keep him a secret. So his mother wove a basket out of reeds. Miriam helped. They coated the basket with mud and tar and let it dry. It was like a tiny.
For how long was the baby Moses kept hidden?
The baby's mother put him in his little basket boat and carried him to the river. She put the basket gently in the water, where it was half hidden by bulrushes and
What was the basket half hidden by?
Pharaoh's daughter came down to the river to bathe, as she did at the same time every day. "What is that in the reeds?" she asked. "It looks like a..."
Who found the basket?
One of the servants brought the basket to the princess. "It's a baby," she exclaimed. "It must be one of the Israelite children. I shall save him, and he shall be my..."
What did Pharaoh's daughter promise to do to Moses?
All this time, Miriam had been hiding in the reeds, watching out for her baby brother. "Your Highness," she said, "I know an Israelite woman who will nurse the baby for you." "Good," said the princess. "The baby must have..." So the baby was taken care of by his own mother until he was old enough to go to the palace and live with Pharaoh's family. The princess called the baby Moses, which means taken from...
What does the name Moses mean?
Joseph and his rainbow coat. Isaac was Abraham's son. He married Rebekah and had twin sons, Esau and Jacob. Jacob, who was also called Israel, settled in Canaan and had a large... Jacob's 12 sons were named Reuben, Simeon, then Levi and Judah, Issachar and Zebulun, Gad and Asher, Dan and Naphtali, then Joseph and...
How many sons did Jacob have?
Joseph and Benjamin were Jacob's favorite children, but he loved Joseph better.
Who were Jacob's favorite children?
One day, Joseph told his brothers about a dream he had had. They were tying up corn in the fields when the other brothers' bundles bowed down to Joseph's. Joseph's dream made his brothers very angry. "Who does he think he is?"
What did Joseph dream about?
Jacob had given Joseph a beautiful coat, colored like a rainbow, and that made the brothers even more jealous. They hated Joseph so much that some of them wanted to...
What special present did Jacob give Joseph?
One day, while the brothers were working in the fields, they grabbed Joseph and tore his splendid coat off him. They decided to kill Joseph and throw his body into...
Where did the brothers throw Joseph?
Reuben disagreed and said, "Let's just leave Joseph at the bottom of the well." Reuben secretly meant to come back later and later, while Reuben was busy, the other brothers sold Joseph to some merchants who were traveling to.
How did Joseph's brothers get rid of him?
Then the brothers smeared the rainbow coat with goat's blood and told Jacob his favorite son had been killed by a wild. When the merchants reached Egypt, they sold Joseph to the captain of Pharaoh's guard. Joseph worked hard, and after some years, he was made head of the.
Who bought Joseph when he arrived in Egypt?
One day, Pharaoh had a nightmare that no one could explain. Joseph had strange dreams himself and was good at figuring out what they meant. So Pharaoh sent.
Why did Pharaoh send for Joseph?
In Pharaoh's dream, 7 fat cows came out of the river to graze. Then 7 thin cows followed the fat cows out of the water and gobbled them up. But the thin cows didn't get it. Joseph told Pharaoh that the dream meant Egypt was going to have 7 years of good harvests, followed by 7 years.
How long did Joseph say the famine would last?
Pharaoh was so impressed by Joseph's explanation, he put him in charge of building barns to store extra food for the bad years. And Pharaoh's dream came true, just as Joseph. Years later, during the famine, 11 visitors came from Canaan to ask for food. They were Joseph's brothers. He knew who they were immediately, but they had no idea who this powerful Egyptian was. Joseph decided to test his brothers to see if they had.
Who came to see Joseph when there was no food?
Joseph gave them all the food they could carry, but in Benjamin's sack he hid his special silver cup. The brothers set off for home, but they had not gone far when Joseph's guards rode after them and found the cup in Benjamin.
What did Joseph put in Benjamin's sack?
The brothers were arrested and brought to Joseph. He pretended to be angry. "The rest of you can go free," he said, "but the one who stole my cup shall stay and be my."
What did Joseph do when his brothers were brought to him?
The other brothers were horrified. Their father had already lost one of his favorite sons. It would break his heart if they went back without Benjamin. "Take one of us instead."
What did the brothers say to Joseph?
Then Joseph knew they had really changed. He told them who he was and asked them to fetch Jacob so they could all live together in Daniel in the lion. The Israelites had been slaves in Egypt, but they finally escaped. Then, many years later, the Babylonian kings made them slaves again. One of the Israelites who still trusted God was
What was it that was special about Daniel?
Daniel was so honest and clever that the king, Darius, made him prime minister. All the other politicians were jealous. They made Darius pass a law saying no one should pray to anyone but the king. Anyone who did would be thrown into a pit with hungry.
What job did King Darius give to Daniel?
But Daniel went on praying to God, the way he always had. Everyone could see him. "Daniel prays to God," said the jealous politicians to Darius. "He has broken your law. You must throw him to the..."
Who could see Daniel praying?
Darius was sad. He liked Daniel, but the law was the law. He ordered Daniel to be thrown into the lion.
What kind of animals were in the den where Daniel was thrown?
Next morning, the king went sadly to the lion's den, not daring to hope that Daniel had been saved. "Daniel, has your God kept you safe from the lions?" "Here I am. God's angel stood between me and the..."
Who saved Daniel from the lions?
The king ordered Daniel to be taken out of the pit. He had the politicians thrown in instead, and the lions made short work of them, munching on their bones. Then Darius ordered all his people to respect Daniel.
Animal homes. Can you direct the animals to their homes in either the sea, the land, or the sky? You score points for every animal you put in the right place before all the apples fall off the tree. Click on the clouds to change the direction the animals travel. Try to get as many as possible for a high score before the time runs out. Click on New Game.
Well done. Check your score and try again.
Musical bones. Jonah will play some sounds in the mouth of the big fish. How many sounds can you copy? Look and listen when Jonah holds his hand to his ear. When Jonah's arm is held out, click on the same objects to make the same sounds in the same order. Click on New Game to begin. Click on Explore Sounds to play the sounds.
Watch and listen.
Road to Canaan. It will take 4 days and 1 night for Abraham to travel the road to Canaan. Can you guide him there before the sun or moon sets? You score points for each complete road. The faster you finish, the more points you score. Click on a path square until it is in the correct position. Try to complete the path from Abraham toward.
Well done. But there are still 3 days and 1 night to go. Only 2 days and 1 night left to guide Abraham to Canaan. Just 1 day and 1 night to go. Abraham's nearly there. Only one night to go. Abraham is coming. I can see him in the distance. Welcome to Canaan. You must be tired after your journey.
Where's Joseph? Joseph's brothers have thrown him into the well. Can you use the beam of light to find him? Click on the arrows to move up and down the well. Secret squares. The bulrushes are stopping baby Moses from reaching the princess. Can you click on them to clear all the Blue River squares before the water jug fills up? Each time you clear the river, you score points. The quicker you are, the more you score. But watch out, it's not as easy as it looks. Click on New Game. Perfect pairs. The animals are all jumbled up. Can you put them in pairs before the rain starts? The quicker you are, the more points you get. First, put one animal in the room at the top of the ark. Next, click on the animal you want to move. Then, click in the space where you want it to go. But remember, the lift must be on the same floor as the animal you want to move. To move the lift, just click on it. Each time you sort out the animals, they get more jumbled. Keep going to get a high score. Click on perfect pairs. The animals are all jumbled up. Can you put them in pairs before the face to face? Can you match Daniel, the lion, or the lioness on the sides of the triangles? You get a point for every match. The highest possible score is 24. Can you match that before the rock blocks the lion's den? Click and drag a triangle onto the board. Click the arrow button to flip the triangle. To change a piece, simply drop another triangle on top. Click on New Game. quiz. Can you help your player reach the highest rooftop to ring the bell? Each time you answer a question correctly, a number appears in the sand. Your player will move that many squares. Watch out for the holes. Click on New Game. Then decide how many people you want to play and whether you want easy, medium, or hard questions. Then click OK to start the game. What did Noah see in the sky after the rain? Yes, it was. What did the animals eat on the ark? Hay and oats. What did Joseph put in Benjamin's sack? Yes, a s. What animal did Noah send out of the ark to find? A dove. Click on the picture that shows no. Yes, that's. What did Pharaoh's daughter find hidden in a basket? The baby Moses. Which bird brought an olive leaf back to Noah? A dove. Which of these animals swallowed Jonah? Yes, it was a. What could everyone see Daniel doing that wasn't permitted by the king? Praying to God. Click on the picture that shows. Yes, that's. What did God send when all the animals were in the ark? A storm. Who did Eve share the forbidden? Adam.
That is my first Bible stories. I hope you enjoyed. Which story was your favorite? I have always enjoyed Joseph and his colorful coat, but also Daniel in the lion's den. Daniel was a really cool guy in the Bible. You'll have to read that book to figure out for yourself, though. Well, until the next video, remember everyone, you are special and loved, you are never alone, and you're always welcome to come back and hang out anytime. God bless. I'll see you all later, and Jesus loves you all. Bye-bye.